What is Plessy v. Ferguson? Plessy v. Ferguson was a landmark United States Supreme Court case that was decided in 1896. It was a pivotal case in the history of American civil rights, but not for positive reasons. Here's a summary of the case. Background. In the late 19th century, racial segregation, particularly in the southern United States, was enforced through a series of laws known as Jim Crow laws. These laws mandated racial segregation in public facilities such as schools, transportation, and other public spaces. The case. Homer Plessy, a man of mixed race heritage, 7/8 Caucasian and 1/8 African descent, challenged the segregation laws in Louisiana. Plessy intentionally sat in the whites-only section of a train car. He was arrested for violating the State-Separate Car Act, which required separate railway cars for white and non-white passengers. The case ultimately reached the U.S. Supreme Court. In a 7-1 decision, the court ruled against Plessy. The majority opinion, written by Justice Henry Billings Brown, held that separate but equal facilities for different races did not violate the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The court argued that as long as the facilities provided for each race were of equal quality, segregation was constitutional. Significant. The decision in Plessy v. Ferguson established the legal precedent for racial segregation in public facilities and services. This doctrine of separate but equal became a cornerstone for maintaining racial segregation for decades. Impact. Plessy v. Ferguson had severe consequences for civil rights in the United States. It upheld the system of segregation and discrimination against African Americans and other minority groups, effectively endorsing racial inequality. It wasn't until nearly 6 decades later, in 1954, that the Supreme Court, in the case of Brown v. Board of Education, overturned the separate but equal doctrine, ruling that racial segregation in public schools was unconstitutional. This landmark decision marked a turning point in the American civil rights movement.